Okay guys, today I'm going to be taking you with me to determine an uneven terrain pace count. Okay, using pace beads, which I have my little setup here, compass, locking carabiner. This is climbing grade, okay, so it ain't going to break, and it locks. Okay, I can screw that on and lock it, so I'm not going to lose nothing. I have all this tied together with some cordage. Just regular pace beads, piece of paracord. Now pace beads you can use knots, rocks, notches in a limb, whatever. If you have a walking stick and keep pace count, if you just notch the walking stick as you go. This is just the easiest method, but you don't always have them with you. So what we're going to go over today is just a general pace count discussion, but more so determining your uneven terrain pace count somewhat accurately. Okay, and it's important to do that because it's going to be different than flat terrain. Now, pace counts are done in 5-kilometer increments with pace beads. Okay, you have these 4 main beads here, and you have 9 here. Okay, and each bead on this lower section is 100 meters. So you have 9 of them, so that goes up to 900, and then your last pace would be 1,001 kilometer. Okay, and I say 5-kilometer because you have 4 pace beads. Once you get the 5th one, you slide them back up. Okay, you don't have a 5th bead to pull down, but you can use it for 5 kilometers. We can do this in areas, if we can find an area in a woodland area that we know that is uneven. We can use some rope, mark out 100 meters of rope, and lay that rope on that uneven terrain. Do it on flat terrain, downhill, uphill, and we can lay it down and get our pace count that way. Or we can go in an area like I am, and I'm going to mark out 1 kilometer on a map. I printed a satellite map. Now I measured the distance here using the guide they have and the ruler on Google Earth to get me a somewhat accurate 1 kilometer point A to point B destination. Now there's four types of terrain we're going to deal with, okay, and it's going to be flat, uphill, downhill, or uneven. Those are generally all you're going to deal with. Usually uneven means uphill and downhill, and most of the time that's what you're going to deal with. It's not always going to be downhill, it's not always going to be uphill unless you're climbing a mountain or descending a mountain. Flat, up north, you're going to deal with flat. But where I'm at here, it's uneven. 99% of the time you're going to deal with uneven terrain. So we need to understand how to get that pace count for us. So with a general understanding of pace beads, remember we have 9 and 4. The 9 are 100 meters per bead. Okay, generally we're talking anywhere from 62 to 73 paces. Most people in between all those terrains. Each one's going to vary. Downhill is going to be a lower pace count. Flat is going to be a little bit above that. Uphill is going to be a much higher pace count because you're taking shorter steps, and uneven will be in between because you're going to be going uphill and downhill. So with that in mind, you know generally where your pace count should be hitting in those areas. It helps to have a compass if you're going to do it the way I'm doing it, because you're going to need to get an azimuth. Okay, now I made it simple for me. I picked an area on the map where I know the starting location, and this is known as dead reckoning. I know the beginning point, and I'm going to point B that I don't know. And I'm going to do that using an azimuth, which is 180 degrees. Now, when I measured on Google Earth, point A to point B, it's 1.04 kilometers, so generally 1 kilometers. This is going to give me a fairly accurate prediction of my pace count. So, on this now, keep this in mind, I have a backstop on this map. It is a large river. When I hit that river, I made my destination. So, it's important to have a backstop so you don't overshoot your destination by a little or a lot, because then your pace count's going to be thrown off. So have a solid backstop, not a little creek. You want something prominent that you know you're there. Okay, this is a large river. When I hit it, I'm going to know I hit it. And then I know that I hit my destination. I need to make sure I'm heading 180 degrees the whole time. Now, one thing that I want to note is people will use these when they know their pace count. They go their pace count, say their pace count 67. They go their pace count, they pull a bead down, that's 100 meters. I'm going to use 70 because it's an easy number to use. It's a number used by tens. So each time I hit 70 paces, I'm going to pull a bead down. All I'm doing is keeping track of my total paces from point A to point B. When we get to point B, which would be 1,000 meters, we divide by 10 of our paces, and that will give us our pace count. Okay, so don't keep track of it like you're counting your paces. Don't choose a number like 67. Choose a number like 70. Every 70 paces, pull a bead down, and then each bead represents 70. You add them all together when you get there. Okay, now bring an all-weather notebook with you. Take notes when you're doing this. All right, you don't want to be doing this and then forgetting what you wrote down, or forgetting what you tried to store in your head. Write it down, keep track of it, and then you'll have a really accurate pace count for yourself. Take notes. So we're going to get up and we're going to get going, and we'll take you along this adventure from point A to point B, 1 kilometer total. Now remember, our pace count is 1. Okay, right, left is 1. Right and left is 2. Right and left is 3. Okay, so every time my left foot hits the ground, that's 1 pace. It's not every step, not right 1, left 2, right 3, left 4. It's left 1, left 2. Okay, just making sure you understand that part of it. Okay, here is my known location, my beginning point. Alright, there's 70 more paces. So I'm going to take my beads here and slide one more down. So what I've done here, I'm just going by 70 to keep an even number. I've gone 140 paces with these two. When I get to my final destination, I can roughly estimate my actual pace count. South is this way, so we want to head that direction. And we can use that nice leaning tree right there, head towards that. See where we're at with our pace count then. Okay, I'm at 27 paces, hit the tree. Take another bearing. Okay, find something off in the distance we can walk towards. There's another leaning tree right there. We're at 27. We're going to continue on. Notice that we got to cross trees and stuff. This is why it's called uneven pace count, because you have to compensate for all the different terrain features, up and down, over logs, through brush, you're sidestepping, you're taking the path of least resistance. So that's why it's important to figure out your uneven pace count. Alright, I hit another 70 paces, just shy of my bearing mark right here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take another bead up. And we keep moving. Let's get another bearing reading. We want to make sure we're heading in the right direction to get an accurate pace count. Okay, south is due this direction, 180 degrees. Alright guys, I'm at 25 paces and I'm stopping right here just to show you. This is what you're going to run into in uneven terrain. Alright, we've got a huge ridge line, we've got saddles, we've got all kinds of things getting in our way, messing up our pace count. And that's why it's so important for me to show you this, that it can mess your pace count up. If you do this on flat ground and say that's my pace count, it's not going to be the same in this type of terrain that you see here. Alright, you're going to fly down that if you went straight down. We're going at somewhat of an angle. Okay, I'll show you south. Alright, right there. That's south. Okay, so I'm going to be walking down and then back up, and I'm on an angle. The angle's coming down. So we have to keep note of all of that. Alright, 70 more right there. I'm gonna pull another one down to 4 beads right there. Let's get ourselves another bearing. Alright, 70 more right there. This tree right here is my bearing. So I'm gonna pull another bead down. Okay, we're at 21 paces to the top of that. And we need to head. We'll get to that tree there. I'll take another bearing because I'm pretty obscured right here. And like I said, we want to make sure our bearing remains accurate throughout this whole process. Okay, let's get our bearing for the top of this hill. There's a tree straight up at the very top. I can walk right to that, and that'll be a due south direction. Okay, I just hit 70 halfway up this hill. So you can see my bearing's still good. The same tree right in front of me, that one kind of leaning. I'm gonna go ahead and pull another bead down. That leaves me with 3 beads. So I should be around 400 meters from our backstop, from our actual location we need to be at. So here we go. Okay guys, I'm at 15. This is wintergreen right here. Okay, when you're, this is just kind of a side note. I know I've showed this before, but this berry, I've showed that. The leaf can take and crush that. I'm breathing heavy, I'm walking hard. I can take that and I can breathe that in, okay? It smells just like a nice wintergreen. It's wonderful. Okay, I can take the berry and I can eat it. And it's gonna fill my mouth with a wintergreen scent. It opens the lungs up, okay? So I can grab a couple of these wintergreen leaves, keep my lungs going, keep my breathing fresh. I use them all the time up here, walking on terrain like this. Just a couple deep breaths with it. Bring some with us, and keep going. We're on 15. Okay, we're at 34. We hit our tree. Okay, we got to get our bearing back again. Looks like we're only going to be able to make it to that tree there. Let's hit that. Alright, that got us to 48. Now we have a much larger view, so we can go a much further distance with our bearing. Okay, we'll hit them trees up there. Okay, we've got another 70. Pull that bead down. Let's get ourselves a bearing. Okay, onward. Okay, we've hit 70 again. Used 8 paste beads so far. Okay, let's take our bearing, keep moving. Okay, I'm gonna note something out. If we start seeing rhododendron, we know we're really close. Okay, that's just a pointer in this area here. But notice that it's thicker. That's gonna really mess my pace count up. Keep that in mind. And 50. Alright, there's 70. Oh, I see a squirrel running in front of me. Okay, so there's 9 pace beads right there. If we go one more, what we do is we pull one of them top beads down, so we know that is 10 pace beads at 70 paces each, okay? That way we keep track of how many total paces we've gone in this 1 kilometer rough terrain distance. You can see there's a huge ridge in front of me, okay, and on my map that's where the river would be at the bottom, and there's a huge ridge right on the other side of it. So this tells me we're heading the right way, which means our pace count's going to be more accurate, that we know we've done it right. Okay, I can hear the water down there. It's getting closer and closer. I'm at 27 paces right here. That's just something to mark when you're looking at maps. Keep an eye out for things that you can see on the map, okay? Get to know your terrain before we even get into it, so you know what's coming. There's our rhododendron. Tells me our river's right down there. That's what we're looking for. I still want to maintain my bearing, even though I know it's there. Because if we're not heading in our southerly direction, when we hit our point, we're going to be off a little bit. Okay? Okay, right here I hit 70, so that means I pull one of these beads down, and from here on out I'm going to have to count my steps, because I probably won't hit 70 again. There it is. I hit my target. This is a bend, okay, it goes this way. Down here it goes this way, which tells me I hit my mark, because on my map, it's exactly what that river does. Okay guys, so we reached our destination. When I got here, I had 723 paces. Okay, and again, I'm going to explain to you. There's 9 pace speeds on the bottom here. I went 70 paces to move one of them, okay? So, one bead was 70 paces. I did 9 of them, and then I went one more and pulled one of these top beads down, which means I went 10 beads at 70 paces. So that's 700 paces, okay? And from that last point, I went 23 more to reach this river. You divide that by 10, and it gives you 72.3. So 72 paces would be my uneven terrain pace count, which would mean next time I do this, to know I went 1 kilometer, I would go 72 paces and pull a bead down, okay? 72 is 100 meters. 72, 100 meters, until I get to 10, and I know I'm right back here. Do this a few times. Get an area, a piece of rope that's 100 meters exactly, and put it in some rough terrain to get you a good idea, and then you can test this after you go a kilometer. You can say, okay, well that was pretty accurate. My 100 meters on that rope was about the same, 72 paces on this uneven terrain, as it was in my 1 kilometer journey, which came out to be 72 paces. Okay? So, all it is to give you a general idea in case you had to travel. You know, if something ever happened, you're prepared, you know what your pace count is in an area like this, okay? Do it in flat terrain, do it uphill, do it downhill, but uneven around here is what you're going to deal with. So keep that in mind. But thanks for joining me guys on this adventure, and we'll see you on the next one. Be sure to have a solid way home. All I have to do is follow the river out of here.